Now in this video we're going to be looking at multiplying large numbers, and we're going to be doing this both using mental strategies and also written strategies. Now, our learning goal, as I've just said, is that I can use written strategies and mental strategies for multiplication of large numbers. So as we get through this, there are going to be three rules that you should understand, or three rules that you should know when you're going to multiply large numbers, and you need to be able to choose which one best suits the situation. The three rules here are that the rule of multiplying by 10 or 100 or 1,000, okay, so multiplying by one of those numbers. The other one is when you're multiplying by multiples of 10, 100 or 1,000, so that means, 40, 400, 300, etc. So any of the number with zeros after it. And the last rule is that just using an algorithm for large numbers, and we'll look at those as we go through. But let's start here as an example with just that first rule. So how do we multiply numbers by 10, 100 or 1,000? It's quite simple, and I'm sure you're aware of this, but as you do this to a number, or the rule you just need to follow is that each digit moves to the left by the number of zeros. So let's write an example here. We've got 45 times 1,000. Now all you need to do is, as it says, each digit moves to the left by the number of zeros. So in this number I have 1, 2, 3 zeros. So this 45 will just need to move to the left of these 3 zeros. So really the answer is 45,000. So you just write the number and then write how many zeros occur after that to get your number. So that's when you're multiplying by 10, 100 or 1,000. So rule 2 is where we're going to be multiplying by multiples of 10. So an example here, first you multiply by the number without zeros, and then you add zeros later, or to the answer later. Now we've got our example. What's 21 times 3,000? Now the best way to do that is to multiply without the zeros. So if I just had 21 times 3, that's an easier sum for me, so I know that that is 63. So all I need to do now, as it says here, is then just add zeros to the answer later. So I now need to add 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 to my answer of 63,000. So that's strategy 2. So finally, if you've tried option 1, you've tried option 2, and you can't answer those questions, then you're going to move to option 3, which is using an algorithm for multiplying large numbers. So we have the question here, 143 times 14. I can't multiply it by 10. It's not a multiple of 10, so I need to use my written strategies here. And the way the written strategy is basically involving dividing the problem into smaller products. Okay, now remember that products means multiplying, and then adding the totals. So the way I'm going to set this up, and it's important that you set it up correctly, so you have your number at the top, and you make sure you put it into correct place value. So you're going to basically break it down into two different multiplications. So I'm going to start with multiplying 4 by 143, and then once I've got my answer to that, I'm going to multiply 10 by 143, and you're going to add them up at the end. So easier way to do that is to just set them up in place value, as I said. So I'm going to times 4 by 143. 4 times 3 is 12. I'll carry the 1. 4 times 4 is 16. I'll carry that 1. Plus 1, sorry, is 17. So 4 times 1 is 4, plus the 1 is 5. Now, because I'm multiplying this by 10, I need to make sure that I start with 0 on the next line. So then I can continue on from there. So that gives me that correct place value. 1 times 3 is 3, 1 times 4 is 4, 1 times 1 is 1, and as it says there, and then just simply add the totals together. So I'm adding these two up, which will give me my answer. 2 plus 0 is 2, 7 plus 3 is 10, 5 plus 4 is 9, plus 1 is 10, and I have 2 here. So my answer is 2002. So that's how you use those three strategies, and what I'm going to get you to do now is I want you to do these on your own. So see if you can work these out, and if you have any problems, make sure you're writing down a question that we can go through. So can you give me the result for each of these products? And again, remember products means multiplication. For A, 37 times 100, use the strategy. 45 times 70, use the second strategy. And 614 times 14, use the third strategy. So practice with these three and see how you go.